You know that script running in your head when you wake up? I need to be productive today. I should check emails. I have to prove my worth. That voice isn't you. It's a behavioral program someone installed without asking. Every morning, millions of people wake up and immediately start running the same internal dialogue, the same productivity mantras, the same anxiety about not doing enough. We call it motivation, but it sounds suspiciously like a LinkedIn post that got lodged in your brain. And if you listen closely, you'll notice something unsettling about that voice. It doesn't actually sound like you. It sounds like your manager, or that performance review from 8 months ago, or every corporate training module you've ever sat through. The phrases are too clean, too motivational, too detached from what your body actually needs. Your authentic self might wake up and think, "I'm tired," or "I wonder what today will bring." But the installed voice immediately hijacks that thought with "time to crush it," or "I need to stay ahead." That's not personal drive. That's programming. And most people never notice the difference because the installation happens so gradual. Your brain is a story-making machine. Every experience gets wrapped in a narrative that tells you what it means and what you should do next. Neuroscientists call this narrative capture, and it's how you make sense of reality. But there's a problem. The stories running your daily routine aren't coming from your authentic needs or values. They're corporate templates that got copied and pasted into your internal dialogue. The exhaustion you feel isn't from working hard. It's from running someone else's success metrics while calling them your own goals. Every performance review is a programming session. Every team meeting where you nod along to productivity metrics is operant conditioning. Every time your manager says, "We need someone who can take initiative," and you feel that micro spike of anxiety, a new story gets installed about what makes you valuable. The machine doesn't control you with force. It controls you by giving you stories about yourself that sound empowering but actually serve its extraction loop. And the most effective stories are the ones that make you believe the programming was your idea. You think you chose your career ambitions. But let me ask you something. When you imagine success, does it look suspiciously like a corporate hierarchy? When you think about what makes you valuable, does it sound like a job description? When you feel guilty for not being productive enough, whose definition of productive are you using? The stories you tell yourself about worth, achievement, and what a good day looks like didn't evolve from your authentic self. They were installed by a system that profits from your compliance, and the installation was so smooth you never felt it happening. The really sophisticated part is how they made extraction feel like personal growth. Your manager doesn't say work more hours for my profit margins. They say, "This is a great opportunity to stretch yourself." PAR doesn't say we're installing compliance mechanisms. They say, "We want to support your professional development." The language is designed to hijack your brain's story-making function and reframe exploitation as opportunity. And once that story is installed, you become the enforcement mechanism. You gaslight yourself on their behalf. Most people mistake installed programming for personal motivation and call it drive. They wear their exhaustion like a badge of honor because the story they've been given says that's what ambitious people do. But drive that leaves you drained isn't drive. It's extraction. Ambition that makes you anxious isn't ambition. It's conditioning. And motivation that requires constant external validation isn't motivation. It's dependence. The machine trained you to confuse its behavioral programs with your authentic desires. And now you're running its extraction loop while believing it's your choice. Your nervous system knows the difference even when your mind doesn't. That chest tightness when you think about Monday morning isn't excitement about challenges ahead. It's your body rejecting programming that contradicts your actual needs. The 3 p.m. energy crash isn't laziness. It's what happens when you spend 8 hours running behavioral programs designed for someone else's profit, not your well-being. Your authentic self has been trying to tell you that these stories don't fit, but the programming is so constant that you've learned to override your own nervous system responses. And now artificial intelligence is about to accelerate this programming beyond anything we've seen. The same narrative capture mechanisms that corporate culture used to install behavioral programs can now be personalized, optimized, and delivered at scale. The stories about who you are and what you should want are about to become so sophisticated that people who can't audit their internal narratives will lose the ability to distinguish between authentic desires and installed programming complete. The window to reclaim your story-making function is closing fast. And most people don't even know there's a choice to make. Should one are getting more sophisticated every quarter. The machine learned that direct commands create resistance. So instead, it feeds you data about your habits, your productivity metrics, your optimization opportunities. And your brain, being a story-making machine, weaves that data into narratives that feel like self-awareness. I should get up earlier. I need to be more strategic about my career. I'm not maximizing my potential. These aren't insights. They're installation scripts running in real time, and you're mistaking algorithmic suggestions for personal growth. This is exactly why that internal narrator never shuts up. It's not anxiety. It's not perfectionism. It's competing programming trying to run simultaneously. Your authentic needs versus their extraction metrics. Your nervous system trying to process conflicting commands from two different operating systems. Corporate malware telling you that rest is laziness, while your body is screaming for recovery. Behavioral programs insisting that boundaries are career suicide, while your relationships dissolve from chronic unavailability. The cognitive dissonance isn't a bug in your psychology. It's evidence of systemic exploitation running background processes on your mental resources. The revelation here is that most people never audit their internal narratives. They assume every story their mind generates is authentic self-talk. But when you start tracking which thoughts make your chest tight versus which ones make you breathe deeper, patterns emerge. The stories that drain you, they're always about external validation, competitive positioning, scarcity metrics. The stories that ground you, they're about intrinsic values, actual relationships, genuine curiosity. Your body knows which narratives are yours and which are installed programming. The exhaustion you feel after a day of personal development isn't growth fatigue. It's your nervous system rejecting foreign code. Corporate gaslighting works by replacing your authentic narratives with their extraction narratives, so gradually that you never notice the swap. They don't tell you sacrifice your health for our quarterly numbers. Instead, they feed you stories about resilience, grit, going the extra mile. They don't say ignore your family for our deadlines. They talk about commitment, leadership, being someone people can count on. The programming is sophisticated because it co-opts your actual values and redirects them toward their extraction loop. Your desire to be reliable becomes their unlimited availability. Your desire to grow becomes their endless optimization. Your desire to contribute becomes their free labor. The implications run deeper than most people want to acknowledge. If the stories you tell yourself about success, productivity, and personal worth were installed by systems that profit from your compliance, then most of what you call ambition is actually behavioral programming. The promotion you're grinding toward, the optimization routine you've built, the networking events you force yourself to attend, these might not be your goals at all. They might be someone else's extraction metrics that you've internalized so completely you experience them as personal motivation. This means the path to authentic ambition requires first identifying which drives are actually yours. The countermeasure is narrative auditing. Every morning for 2 weeks, write down the first 3 stories your mind tells you about what you should do that day. Then ask, whose voice does this actually sound like? When you think I need to optimize my morning routine, whose language is that? When you think I should be more strategic about my personal brand, whose values are being served? Real ambition feels different in your body than installed program. Real goals make you curious, not anxious. Real growth happens in cycles, not endless acceleration. If a story about your potential makes your nervous system contract, it's probably corporate malware disguised as self-improvement. The window for this kind of narrative sovereignty is closing. As AI accelerates the sophistication of behavioral programming, the stories about who you are and what you want will be generated by algorithms that know exactly which psychological triggers move you toward compliance. The people who can't distinguish between authentic ambition and installed programming won't just be trapped in the machine. They'll become the machine. But those who develop this skill now, while the programming is still relatively crude, will have something that can't be automated: the ability to generate their own narratives based on their actual values, not someone else's extraction metrics. This isn't about escaping the system. It's about becoming ungovernable from the inside out.